Poonambige Sanjeev to sing Irai Vanakkam and Dikshita Pradeep to sing Guru Vanakkam. Be blessed by the divine.
வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன் குருவே துணை. இறைவணக்கம். ஆதி எனும் பரம்பொருள்மை எழுச்சி பெற்று அணுவென்ற உயிராகி அணுக்கள் கூடி மோதி நின்று இங்குகின்ற நிலைமைக்கேற்ப மூலகங்கள் பலவாகி அவனைந்து வேதித்த அண்ட கோடிகளாய் மட்டும் பிறப்பு இருப்பு இடை உணர்தல் இக்கமாகி நீதி நெறி உணர் மாந்தராகி வாழும் நிலை உணர்ந்து தொன்றாற்றி இன்பம் காண்போம். வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன். குரு வணக்கம். அறிவை பெற்று அவ்வறிவில் ஒன்று முதல் ஆரதாரி கொண்டமெல்லாம் இவ்வுருள் குறிப்பில்லாமல் கோடான கோடி என்னை அனுபவித்த கண்ட பலன் என்னை அறிய நினைத்தேனப்போ கருத்துணர்த்தி கல்மூர்த்தி கர்வம் ஞான குண்டலினி எழுப்பி குருத்தினை அறிவித்த குருவே வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Thank you, Poonambige and Dikshita, for commencing this session with your divine singing. Poonambige and Dikshita, be blessed by the divine. Poonambige and Dikshita, be blessed by the divine. Poonambige and Dikshita, be blessed by the divine. We request Arunidhi Jyotsna Amma to guide the meditation session. Be blessed by the divine.
வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன். May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness and peace. May the divine and Guru's grace guide us. வாழ்க வளமுடன். Salutations to God. God, the primordial state, transformed into atom are the life energy. The atoms combine to form different elements, which in turn combine to form cosmic objects and the universe. This divine state, with its infinite consciousness, also manifested as senses between life and death. This infinite consciousness also guides humans to lead a spiritual way of life. Let us all realize this divine state, serve the world, and find true happiness. Salutations to Guru. My dear Guru, you showed me the way to control my thoughts and stay in peace. In that state, when my mind stays still, a great joy springs from there. As the end goal of so many births in this great world, you gave me a life of constant awareness. This is my happy news to you. Nadi Shuddhi. Let us conclude the Nadi Shuddhi by breathing out through the left nostril. Please complete the current cycle. Clearance practice. Purification of the surroundings. The atmosphere around us is being purified by the divine power. The atmosphere around us is being purified by the divine power. The atmosphere around us is being purified by the divine power. The divine energy descends upon us. May our body and soul are being purified and blessed. The divine energy descends upon us. May our body and soul are being purified and blessed. The divine energy descends upon us. May our body and soul are being purified and blessed. May the divine energy protect us, guide us, lead us in all our activities, day and night, at all times, at all places. Salutations to Mother. Salutations to Father. Salutations to our Guru Sri Yogiraj Vedadri Maharshi. Let's start meditation on Agna Chakra. Turium, focus your mind at crown chakra and meditate. Be blessed by the divine. Spread the meditative energy throughout the body. Visualize each and every cell in your body is purified and blessed. Auto suggestion. By the grace of the divine power, we all enjoy good health, long life, enough wealth, wisdom, prosperity, happiness, and peace. By the grace of the divine power, we all enjoy good health, long life, enough wealth, wisdom, prosperity, happiness, and peace. By the grace of the divine power, we all enjoy good health, long life, enough wealth, wisdom, prosperity, happiness, and peace. Blessings, bless your life partner. Bless your children one by one. Bless your brothers and sisters. Bless your friends and relatives. Bless your co-workers, subordinates, superiors, and all other people associated with your day-to-day activities. Bless your enemies. If anyone not in harmony with you, kindly bless yourself and bless them for harmonious relationship. Let us bless our Guru's teachings known as Vedadriyam. Vedadriyam, be blessed by the divine. Vedadriyam, be blessed by the divine. Vedadriyam, be blessed by the divine. World Community Service Center, be blessed by the divine. Alaya Temple of Consciousness, be blessed by the divine. All the sky centers across the world, be blessed by the divine. Sky USA, be blessed by the divine. All the aspirants who participated in today's meditation and their families, be blessed by the divine. Twofold moral principle. I in my lifetime will not cause pain to myself or others physically or mentally. To the extent possible, I will remove the sufferings of self or others. I in my lifetime will not cause pain to myself or others physically or mentally. To the extent possible, I will remove the sufferings of self or others. I in my lifetime will not cause pain to myself or others physically or mentally. To the extent possible, I will remove the sufferings of self or others. Blessings for the world. May rain pour on all parts of the world timely and sufficiently. May food grains grow abundantly to the satisfaction of all living beings. May the leaders of all nations grow in spiritual knowledge and do good services to humanity. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. May peace prevail in us. May peace prevail around us. May peace prevail around the world. Peace, peace, peace. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Thank you, Amma, for the blissful meditation. Arunidhi, Jyotsnama, be blessed by the divine. Arunidhi, Jyotsnama, be blessed by the divine. Arunidhi, Jyotsnama, be blessed by the divine. I kindly request all the aspirants to observe 1 minute silence honoring our late Sky Master Arunidhi Shiva Srinivasanaya and bless his family in silence. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. On behalf of Sky USA, I kindly invite our senior Sky Master, Arunidhi Dr. Priyama, to guide us through her speech. Be blessed by the divine Nama.
வாழ்க வளமுடன் வாழ்க வளமுடன் everyone. Hope you can hear me well. Um, so first of all, thank you for inviting me to this session. I'm so glad to be with all of you this morning. So we are going to discuss something about maneuvering 6 temperaments. So why I chose this topic, there is a little bit of selfishness in this because I want to remind myself of these 2, and also while doing so, all of us can go one step further in our spiritual journey. So that is why I chose this topic. I would also like to share my screen here. Let me see if that works.
Amma, be blessed by the divine. Sorry for the interruption, Amma.
Mhm.
Amma, I think your phone or the audio is giving a little bit of sound. Maybe you can keep it a little bit away, Amma. We are very clear otherwise, Ma. Be blessed by the divine.
Okay, good. I just want to share my screen. Let me know if you can see this.
Yes, Amma. Be blessed by the divine.
Okay, perfect. All right. Now is my audio clear?
Yes, Amma. Be blessed by the divine.
Okay. வாழ்க வளமுடன் வாழ்க வளமுடன். So first, I want to invoke Swamiji's presence here. So whatever we learn today stays with us, and we internalize it and bring it to practice and move further in this journey. Swamiji, please be with us. வாழ்க வளமுடன். Okay. So 6 temperaments. I heard that most of us are masters here. So we are just going to. Hold on 1 second. So we are just going to reinforce what we already learned in our spiritual journey. So the 6 temperaments, as we know, are these 6. They are greed, anger, miserliness, immoral sexual passion, vanity, and vengeance. So these 6 of them, these are something which we don't want in us, right? So we have to make sure we don't want to carry any of these in us. So what are these? The first one, greed. Okay, we already went through a lot of lessons about thought analysis, about anger management, about moralization of desires, and so many things in our introspections in Vedatrium. So what is greed? So greed is something that comes out of desires. Then we should go and look at what is desire. So there is a thought that comes to each one of us, right? So the thought, it comes based on needs. So we have 3 type of needs that we normally have. All humans, all living beings, we have these needs, and they are based on hunger. So whether we feel hungry or thirsty, we need food to fill up that. So that is a need. And the second need is based on climatic variations. So if it's very cold or very hot, we need shelter or we need clothes, and we need different things to protect ourselves from the climatic variations of nature. So that is the second need. And the third need comes from pressure of excretory forces. So the pressure of excretory forces, when your bladder is full, for example, and we are going to the bathroom, we cannot find the bathroom and find it after a long time. And once you are able to excrete the liquid, and then now you feel so good that there is nothing that is comparable to that pleasure of excreting that pressure, of relieving that pressure. So that is the need. So these things are based on need. A thought arises in the first place to take care of one of these three needs. Okay, now we falsely assume that whatever pleasure that comes out of having, relieving hunger or taking care of climatic variations or relieving the pressure of excretory forces, these are falsely assumed as a pleasure to the human beings. So even when the real need is not there, even when the real need is not there, we assume there is pleasure in these things and we want to enjoy those again. And we want to enjoy more and more of these things again. So this is coming out of a illusion. So when we go for that kind of a illusion, the mind is led falsely, and then there comes greed. So once there is a need, a thought arises, and the thought intensifies to form a desire. And then this desire is fulfilled. And after that, we don't stop. We still want to enjoy that again and again, which becomes greed. So then there is a discrepancy here. So desire is turned into greed. The second one, when this desire is turned into greed and somebody or something is obstructing the desire, then it turns to anger or rage. So you have a desire and we cannot fulfill it at that moment. Somebody or something is obstructing, and then we get anger. And it is simply intolerance. We don't tolerate that obstruction. We don't tolerate that person, and we get angry. So this is the second one, which is anger. And the third one is miserliness. So miserliness is keeping for oneself. So it is not only your possessions. It can be even relationships, even fame, even name, everything. It's only mine. I don't want to share any of this with others. I want to keep everything for myself. So this is miserliness. And the fourth one is immoral sexual passion. And as we have seen before, this is the pressure of excretory forces of the sexual vital fluid, the semen or the ovum that is coming out. So here immoral sexual passion is just that this is forced upon somebody, even though it is your own life partner who is not willing. So that is immoral. And it is not only the act, but only even if it occurs in the thought level, also it is immoral sexual passion because still it is imprinted in us. So that is lust, untimely, unwilling, uh, enforcement of sexual passion. And the next one is vanity. Vanity is comparison. What is the comparison based on? It can be based on color, caste, creed, sex, money, position in the society, and all those things. So either we feel superior or we feel inferior. And this doesn't stop anywhere. And this doesn't leave you in peace. So there is always constant comparisons. Even between siblings, there is comparison. So even parents compare children if they have more than one. So this is never ending vanity. And then the last one is vengeance. So vengeance is something when we have anger or rage against anybody, and when the situation is not right, whether they are stronger or whether they have more capacity to put us down, then we suppress looking for an opportunity to express this anger at the right time so that we get rid of that person. So that waiting for an opportunity and this anger suppressed inside, that state is the vengeance state. So we have all the six temperaments. All of us have it, we have to admit. But only the ratio is different. So we have like the first one more ratio, the second one a little bit less, but all of us have it. If we are totally devoid of all these six, then we are divine. So we know that we are not yet there, we are just trying. So let us see where all this comes from. Swamiji gives this beautiful definition of all these things. So the ego, which is the I state. So I is something that we identify with our body. I is something which is the divine soul, but it is misidentified with our body. We think this body is the I. And then that is the third one, which is the illusion. That is the Maya. So Swamiji gives a definition for Maya, which is stagnation of soul in the embodiment of man is Maya. I'll say that again, stagnation of soul, because we all know our soul is in a journey. But now this is stagnated. Where it is stagnated in the journey? In the embodiment of man. So we think this body is I, which is the soul. So this is the Maya. And that is why we are unable to see the truth. So this I consciousness gives rise to two things, me and mine. So it's always me, that is selfishness, and this me is my body and whatever I need, and mine is all my possessions, my properties, my relationships. So it's always my children, my husband, my home, my money, and my everything. And that is all matters. So this me and mine together cannot keep quiet. Swamiji says they are like a husband and wife, and they give rise to six children. And all these six are not very good children. And these six are the six temperaments. So we know these temperaments are not good. Why? Because what if I keep all these temperaments? What are they going to do to me? They are not going to just sit there. They are going to create imprints. And we know in our journey, we already carry three types of imprints. And we call it karma, right? So the first one is the Sanchita karma, which is this bag of imprints which we carry from our parents and through millions of generations. So this bag has all your journey imprints, right? Starting from the consciousness to your parents. And then from 3 years of age until now, whatever we have done is there in a more superficial form of imprints. which is called prarabdha karma. And then, because of this prarabdha karma, we are going to do things, we are going to will or wish or desire to do things in future. So that is called akami karma. So these three drive our life, right? So what is the difference between humans and animals? So in animal imprint, so whatever this imprints, a pool of imprints, they are called chittam in Sanskrit and sittam in Tamil. So these imprints, whichever one tries to catches your attention, tries to catch your attention. So that is going to come into action, and the animals don't think. They are hungry. There is this little thought that comes in the mind, and they are going to look for food, and nothing else is going to stop them. But in the humans, there is a layer which filters whatever comes out of this imprint pool, that is helping you to filter and see whether this has a good outcome or a bad outcome. So this is the buddhi. Only humans possess buddhi or intellect, or we call it prajna. So this intellect is the filter, and only if we are aware, it can help you to bring out only those imprints which can get a good outcome. So this good outcome, Swamiji gives a definition for a good thought or a good desire. So whichever thought or desire that gives you only peace, in the present or future, and does not harm you or others now or in the future. So that is the good thought or the good desire. And those are the ones which will definitely will give a good outcome. And buddhi should be always aware to filter the chittam, all the imprints that's coming out of the chittam, to get give rise or even stop it in the thought and give rise to actions, get it forward to actions, only those which will give a good outcome. So we should never forget the formula that Swamiji has given us. Okay. So any thought, word, or deed should not harm others or ourselves in the present or in the future. Only those can be taken into action. So who is going to sit there and watch? We call it awareness. So this, in other words, is our intellect or the buddhi. So we have to keep that very, very sharp. And this awareness has to become part of our life. This illusion is so powerful that it can often mask the results of the action. And we always, because we meditate, we always realize it a little sooner that we have done something wrong and we should not repeat it again. So Maya should be always kept in place. So how we are going to do that, we'll see. Okay. So the next one, all the 6 children, if we are allowing them to grow within us, they are going to make us do this 5 acts of dishonesty, stealing, murder, gambling, and immoral act. So these are called parichayalgal. These are acts of sin, and they add to our prarabdha, which is our imprint pool. And if we have these things in our imprint pool, we know how nice our pool will be. The pool is nothing but our magnetic pool, and this pool is responsible for our character, how we are. So if we have all these dirty things in our pool, then we know how our character will blossom. And the very aim of our life on earth is to change all these things and clear our pool and superimpose nicer things that Swamiji has taught us and evolve into divine beings, or at least into good human beings for now. Okay, so how do we change these? So the next one is this. Swamiji says these are all emotional states, the greed, anger, miserliness, and so on. So these have to be converted into a state of awareness. So in the state of awareness, when the buddhi is awake, then greed should always be turned into contentment. Anger should be converted to tolerance. Miserliness should be into sharing and philanthropy. Immoral sexual passion should be turned into chastity. Vanity should be turned into equality, and vengeance to forgiveness. So, why do I do this? So, here I want to highlight a little bit more the physical impacts of what our body will go through, because what happens to our mind we already know when we are in greed, anger, and so on. But there is a physical translation of these things when it comes to our own body. So, greed is something you want more and more and more of something which you already have enough. But when there is a wanting of more and more, it converts into diabetes. Okay, so it translates, each of this translates into a physical disease, which I don't know, many of us may be aware of this, but I just want to reinforce on this, because greed, if you are in a constant state of need, then it leads to diabetes. If you are in a constant state of anger, it can lead to high blood pressure, heart conditions, and ulcers in your digestive system. And if there is miserliness, you are holding on to something, you know, that you're not going to use it anytime in this lifetime, but still you're holding on. So, what happens to congested energy in the body? Hmm? So, energy always, if there is no movement, it converts to mass, it condenses. So, we get all these masses all over the body. It can be benign, it can be cancerous, God knows. It can be fat nodules, it can be nodules anywhere in the body. So, there are so many things. This is not just energy stagnation, it can translate into cells bonding to each other unnecessarily in some place in your body. Women get like fibromas and cysts, you know, and there are glandular enlargements and so on. So that's miserliness. And then immoral sexual passion. So here Swamiji says, even in the thought level, this can cause Jivaganta Kalangam. It can pollute our biomagnetic energy. And this pollution is good enough to cause any autoimmune conditions, even in the thought level. I'm saying it doesn't have to be in the action. It can cause autoimmune conditions in the body. And vanity, you know, there is the superiority or inferiority complex. It creates anxiety and depression. And these are more prevalent in the United States, than any other country in the world. Even a child in high school, I see a lot of patients say, they come and say, oh, my child is depressed, my child is anxious. Why? Because this is there is constant comparison, either by the child itself or it is imposed upon by the parents. So then the last one is vengeance. We all know Even, if you keep something, it's same as miserliness. So if you keep something inside that's unwanted for a long time, it is going to definitely change into mass in your body. It can change to something unwanted that you gather in your body, which will eventually show in your blood report or a scan report or something. And we think these have nothing to do with what emotions I carry. But these are the base of whatever disease, because every disease that is created in our body is man made. It is made by our own selves, with or without our knowing. So we must be very clear that not to keep these unwanted things in the body. Whatever it takes, first clear them off. Whenever it comes to our awareness, our first job is to clear them off. So, uh, having said that, let us go to the next one. What is the solution? What do I do to clear all these things? So, there are only three things Swamiji says. The first one is navigating life in a constant state of awareness. What should we be aware of? Our origin. Where do we come from? So we all come from one source and we know that very clearly. And we are all going to leave this body and go elsewhere, you know. So awareness of our origin, this clearly eradicates, you know, the inferiority or superiority complex, because we all came from one place, and where is the difference? You know, and all others start to vanish. All other six temperaments start to vanish once we are in this state of awareness. So we are clear about why we are here on earth, and to realize the self and consciousness, connect with consciousness. And while we are living on earth, we always have the three virtues, which are morality, duty, and charity, which again, charity helps to get rid of miserliness, and morality, the other, greed, anger, and everything. So, morality, we already know the definition, that not harming self or others, present or future, right? So, we remember that. And duty, dues to the society or duty. And what are the dues? There are so many other living beings. Let's not say just humans, living beings on earth, which are unable, who are unable to take care of themselves. For example, children below a certain working age, and older people who cannot work anymore. So we have to share whatever we have with them to make the society as a whole. And then charity, we always give to people who are in need. And the third one is understanding the relationship between individual, nature, and society. So Swamiji gives this triangle. This is a very important triangle. If one of this is skipped, there is no peace, right? So these three have always to be in balance. So individual, nature, and society should be in balance. So this is the solution. And yeah, we know all this. How are we going to do this? Is sadhana. Hmm? So Swamiji says Vedatriya is sadhanai margam, not bodhanai margam. Right? So everything is practice. And we know the practices. We have meditations, we have exercises for the body, and so Kaya Kalpa for the life force, and we have everything. Swamiji has given every tool to handle any problem in life. Right? But I would like to say this is the problems, main problems are forgetfulness, laziness, disinterest, which prevent us from doing practice. So these, I'm not saying this. So Patanjali Muni is saying that in his book. Okay, so Ashtanga Yoga, he says the problems to sadhana for each individual. It may be forgetfulness, it may be laziness. There are a couple of more. I can read that to you. So these are called the obstructing distractions, he calls it. Okay, disease, mental laziness, doubt, lack of enthusiasm, lethargy, clinging to sense enjoyments, false perception, non attaining concentration, and falling away from the state when obtained are the obstructing distractions. So these are going to keep on obstructing. There will be something more important that always comes up so that we can skip our practice and run after that. But we have to identify that as a distraction and keep our practices as a priority. Then only we can take one step at a time towards totality. Okay, so we have to practice, we have to reinforce what we learned, we have to internalize, and it has to become our experience. Otherwise, it's going to always elude us. So, in order for our practices to become our experience, they should be practiced with one minded focus. So, let's all try and do that, and Swamiji will do the rest for us. Okay, thank you and Varga Valamude.
Our heartfelt thanks to Sky Master Arunati Dr. Priyama for providing us a deep insight into Maya and how should we handle the relationship of mind and body. We also understood how an emotional state, when not handled with awareness, turns into disease. And also, thank you so much, Priyama, for reinitiating the solution which was given us by Swamiji, and it was a nice introspection points which we have to follow every day. Let us all come to Duriya state and bless Sky Master Arunadi Priyam, Dr. Priyamma. By the grace of divine power, Sky Master Arunidhi Dr. Priyamma and her family may enjoy good health, long life, enough wealth, prosperity, wisdom, and peace. Be blessed by the divine. Aspirants can raise their hands if you have any questions. Be blessed by the divine.
Be blessed. Professor Arulanandam speaking. I wish to convey my hearty best wishes to Dr. Priyadarshini, who has spoken excellently well with all relevant points on the subject as provided by our Guru, Yadatri Maharishi, with some additional information also. I think other masters also can follow the method of presentation also quite superb whenever they are provided chance to speak in satsang or any other occasion. So thank you very much, and my hearty best wishes to Dr. Priyadarshini, Professor Balamurgan, who knows me very well. Even when we were in Chennai, and your family members, thank you by the grace of divine and kind blessings of our Guru. May your spiritual services expand and grow. All the best to all your family members. Be blessed by the divine. Thank you all.
Thank you, Aya. Thank you.
Thank you.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Valhuran Vidyama, please proceed.
I have a quick question. We were talking about masses, that those masses are a reason that creates different things, and to get rid of masses. Am I right?
Yeah.
So in the initial stages, right, when we do our meditation, all these negative thoughts comes and goes. We keep telling Valga Valamudan, we try to change our mind setting, but besides, is there any other way that we can see that the negative thoughts or the negative impacts doesn't come to the mind state at all?
So the negative thoughts are already there imprinted. So there is no way they are not going to come at all. So Swamiji gives the superimposition technique where you can pair them up with positive thoughts. Whenever something comes, you write it down and you pair it with something positive. So whenever the negative thought comes again, it comes with a paired thought. So then it negates the effect of the negative thought in the body and the mind of the person.
Okay,
so that
fine.
negation is very important, because we don't allow, because in that filter, when it comes out, your intellect is the filter, as we discussed. So in that
One
filter,
second, I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
I got a note here saying you want the screen in or the glass.
Whatever was written, I'm not sure.
Come here and look.
I'm so sorry. Someone is there who is repairing.
hey, no problem. Yeah. So did you get that? You just have to pair it with a positive affirmation or a positive thought. Okay. Vidya?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Gulshan Amma, please proceed with your question.
Thank you, Anita Amma. Thank you so much, Dr. Bala. Wonderful presentation. And what really struck to me was, as I understand it, Guruji's focus on the biology sciences and how he interprets inner travel and the world around, not just at mental, physical level, but at the quantum level through our bodies. And getting your take on it kind of brings me closer to his thoughts, so that was a great presentation. Thank you for that. And my question is, you talked about mental or emotional thoughts or the temperaments impacting us by ways of diseases, and definitely that popular work by Louise Hay on how to heal your body, it kind of shook the whole spiritual world in terms of how to look at your thoughts and the way they interpret themselves in their body. In your experience, have you seen when people work through their temperament, it kind of leads to a remission of what they are suffering through?
Yes, who is speaking right now?
This is Gulshan.
Okay, Gulshan. So yeah. So Louise Hay has done a lot of work pairing up emotions with diseases. So, and in Swamiji's work, he has given it already, but we have failed to put more emphasis upon the disease part of it, because now it draws attention, right? So when I say, if you have greed and or if you have anger and you have to let it go because it's not a good emotion, then we take it lightly. Then if I'm saying, if you have anger and it gives rise to heart conditions, you may have high cholesterol, right? But it doesn't affect your heart. unless you are emotionally stressed out or you're super angry, then it can trigger a heart attack, right? So this makes our attention, it brings more attention towards uh, how important it is to maneuver these 6 temperaments and get rid of them because of the impact it has on the physical health. Because we all now operate on fear, right? So we always have fear of losing things, and we are, of course, the greatest fear is losing this body, which is death, So this operation on based on fear should go in the first place. And I do use a lot of Louis Hay's affirmations in helping to heal clients because it works all the time. And I use Swamiji's blessings, So when it comes to blessings, I always say you cannot give to somebody that you don't have, right? If I am a pauper and you are asking me $10, I myself have nothing. How can I give you the $10, right? So in a similar way, we can cheat the universe to fill ourselves with blessings when you keep on giving it unconditionally to everyone around us, right? We bless everyone around us, and the universe makes sure that you are filled with what you are giving away because your intention is good, right? So that works. And we have a lot of clients in which we reverse the conditions by using these affirmations and blessings, because so many of them are not introduced to our Maharishi's system. So I just ask them to keep blessing, and there is a difficulty with people bringing out their worst emotions because they want to show outside that they are happy and contented, but in reality that's not true. It is deep inside, and even for you to find it out, you have to spend enough time with yourself, which we are not willing to do or sometimes scared to do, you know so we are scared. People are scared to sit with themselves. After some time they run away from themselves, they saying that they want to watch a movie, they want to go out for a walk or whatever, right? So that's what happens, and we have to force them to kind of sit with themselves and see what's coming out and start blessing and pairing them with good affirmations. Did that answer your question, Gulshan?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I truly applaud that you use these modalities from Western thinking. Actually, it's some sort of a global thinking, and combine it with Guruji's teachings, because that's the way ideas spread. That's the way the beauty of the message spreads. So, really, that is fantastic. And yeah, I think I'm going to, for some time, Louis Hay's book was like my pocketbook. I think I'll
Yes,
just buy the Kindle version because you reminded me of it all over again. So
yes,
yeah, I,
yes.
I look forward to perhaps consulting you later.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank
And
you.
our
Yeah.
Swamiji's affirmation is our blessing. By the grace of the
Right.
divine power, we may all enjoy. That is the ultimate that one can do for ourselves, and others. That's the ultimate one. It's all encompassing.
Yeah.
So
But in the
once
way
we get
you're,
to,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. In the way you're practicing, that's exactly the kind of so-called treatment that we want, right? To empower the
Exactly,
patient themselves. Because
exactly.
even now, a lot of patients, we jokingly say they become their own doctors because they know so much more about the disease than perhaps the physician. But that's such a technical understanding, this holistic understanding and empowering and encouraging the patient to meet themselves is
Yes,
really
yes.
powerful. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, so in our Kaya Kalpa class, the first thing we teach, right? Swamiji's lesson, the first thing when it comes to physical body, he defines disease as a blockage in the flow of energy in the body. That's all is disease. So we don't have to be scared, and we have so many techniques. Kayakalpa is one of them, and exercises another, simplified physical exercises. And these can, when done on a regular basis, they can relieve the blocks and establish or re-establish the flow of energy, which is the healing. So if we understand this simple, Swamiji is all about simplicity. I love him because
Right.
of that.
Same.
There is no
Yeah.
complex things in Vedatrium.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah. So if we understand disease in that manner, then there is no fear. We know that there is somewhere this is blocked and I have to release it. And you don't have to worry about what the name the disease carries. It can be something we cannot pronounce, but we don't have to
Right.
worry about it. Yes.
That's
Good.
wonderful.
Thank you, Gulshan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt. I have one more question.
Sure, Amma. Go ahead, Amma.
Thank you, Alga Valmudan. See, I work with autistic kids, okay, and there are scenarios like when I'm in the class, or even many times parents have told me this, like a kid is totally out of control. It can be either impulsive reaction from the kid, or a anger thing that has triggered and he's not able to come out. And we tried different behavior techniques and nothing works at that time, but as a educator we apply the techniques, we calm, and then we forget about it. But as a parent, sometimes they keep telling that that particular incidents has really has put them so much down that they are not able to come out of it later on. It takes more longer time, so they forget again the process of being consistent in that. Probably they get exhausted. So what will you really suggest, or what we can really tell parents to maintain their cool at that particular point of time?
Okay, this is for the parents'
Yeah, this
perspective
is
you're asking.
from the parents perspective, because mostly like kids are going to show the behavior at that point, that is, they are impulsive. When you apply the behavior techniques and they calm down, and as an educator we just feel we have done our job, we keep moving. But as a parent, they come and say that that particular way that kid behaved, right, has not come out of from their mind, it stuck on to their mind, and that really adds more and more pressure to them, and they are not able to be stable in going forward, like the consistent stableness is being lost to them.
Yeah. So in our experience, I have worked with around 66 kids of ages 3 to 21. Okay.
Wow.
Autistic kids. And we have done some work with herbs and stuff. But what we have seen in most of the children is there is no grounding. What Swamiji calls as Shanti Yoga. So that is absent, and in the brain there is like firing here and there is no control of the information transfer that it happens in most of us. So what really helps is giving them some grounding techniques, and in most of them are not able to focus themselves, so we have to give some techniques that really help them to ground. By their parents have to help them do it, and as parents they have to give them an environment which has more peaceful vibrations, like our alpha vibrations which happen in our brain when we are meditating, right? So
Yes.
if you look at origin, like how even before the kids are born, the parents' state of mind plays a big important role in how the children are born this way.
Absolutely.
Yes. So all of the parents, all of almost like I would say 98%, the parents are in a state, highly stressed state when before this kid is conceived. And the priorities are different, and then now this kid is there, and they have all different things that just hearing them out makes me stressed out, that kind of a
Yes,
stressful
yes,
situation.
absolutely. I
And
totally agree with
there is, yeah, so there is no peaceful peace in the house. So they have to create a peaceful atmosphere for the children to grow up. So some of the
you.
techniques we give is like playing our Varga Valamudan mantra is there, right? And on YouTube. So you play
Yeah.
it in the background, or there is the Arutperunjoti mantra that you play it in the background. So these naturally give, Gayatri mantra, and you set a certain vibration on a low volume where the child is present in that room, and that kind of helps them to calm down, because this sound always has vibrations attached to it, and it creates a good surrounding where
Mhm.
the child can grow up, because the parents mindset is not peaceful, and it is definitely going to interfere with the child's vibration.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that is one, and definitely grounding techniques. If the parents can ground themselves, the child can also calm down with
So the grounding techniques, basically the meditation techniques. Am I right?
Shanti yoga. Shanti yoga.
Okay, but they have to
Yeah.
know Shanti yoga for that.
Yeah, they have
If
to,
they,
but
yeah.
you cannot give them an elaborate session that how we do in our yoga. But you
Uh-huh.
can give them little techniques to ground themselves. There are other visualization techniques where you can obtain similar results. So, we can discuss them later, I think. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Be blessed by
Yeah.
the divine Amma. Due to time crunch, we'll have to
Yes. Close. Yeah,
conclude the
that's what I
session.
said. Yes.
Yeah, if any of the aspirants have any questions, please reach out to us. We have a WhatsApp group, and you can post the messages in there. Thank you so much for your patience. We kindly invite our USA Sky coordinator, Professor Arunidhi Murli Ayya, to deliver vote of thanks. Be blessed by the divine.
Thank you, Anita. Be blessed by the divine. First, a heartfelt thanks to Dr. Priya. She took up a very important topic, maneuvering of six temperaments. One of the key goals of any sky practitioner is to make progress in regulating these six temperaments, as emphasized by our Maharshi. And the nuances of delivering a valuable lecture is when you're able to unlock the disconnect between what the listeners already know, and teach them how to apply it, right, or motivate them how to apply it, right, then you have succeeded in that lecture, right. And Dr. Priya accomplished it very beautifully. She was able to provide us the link between uh, the mental emotions and the disorders that we experience in common life, in our day-to-day lives. And um, it was very heartening to see her give us all these little points that gave us a lot of motivation. For example, simple thing, right? Superimposition. Whenever a good thought, bad thought comes, how to pair it with the good thought, right? We all know that, right? So I think she was able to present it in the right context, so it was refreshed in our memories. And how we are afraid to spend time with ourselves, we run away, right? Those statements were very powerful, and motivated us to go back to our roots, which is, meditate and cleanse our minds, right? That is what Swamiji has taught us. Increase your mental strength through meditation, and start the purification process, and spend time with yourself through introspection, right? So the conversion of between from theory to practical aspects, we thank Dr. Priya for helping us move towards that goal today. And a few words about herself. I remember fondly when I met her for the first time in a conference back in New Jersey. I think it was in 2009. And since then, I have watched her contributions to the Sky community, very valuable services. And as we all know, she's a very accomplished person in the field of Ayurveda and natural sciences. We are fortunate to have someone of our experience, teaches applied Vedatriyam, right? How Vedatriyam applies to the science of health, both physical and mental, and give us a different perspective. So we are very thankful for all her valuable services and look forward to many more years. And apart from that, we had Arulnidhi Jyotsna conducting a perfect meditation today. On behalf of you, I thank her for conducting the meditation. And we had our kids Dikshita and Purnambika bringing us divine joy in the rendering of the songs, Swamiji's poems. Thank you everyone for participating. You made this a very interactive discussion. A few announcements I wanted to share on behalf of the organizers. Next week, we have a Masters Refresher series starting up for the Sky Masters. And our senior professor, Professor Arulanandan Ayya, is going to be sharing his wisdom on key areas of focus for a Sky Masters in terms of self-development, way of life, how to coordinate things and achieve proficiency in the different practices. It is going to be a lecture series starting next Sunday, March 14th, every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. EST. That will be 6 p.m. CST Central Time and 4 p.m. Pacific. So please mark your calendars. All Sky Masters, please make use of this valuable opportunity. And then, as you all know, we have a World Spiritual Record event happening on March 28th, on the day of the remembrance of Vedatriyam, the day in which our Guru left his physical body. This event is the goal of this event is to help all of our sky practitioners to be energized and to tell the world that, hey, it is easy to meditate, and to tell the world about Sky Yoga, right? So we have practice sessions happening in preparation for this event on March 28th. Every Saturdays and Sundays, we are organizing practice events. Please join those events. And the details of this exact event on March 28th, you'll be seeing that in the different Sky groups. Please forward the event details to your friends and family and request them to join. Ask them to join individually so it counts towards the statistics of the record. So those are a couple of announcements. And then before wrapping up this note, I would like to thank the coordinators of this event, Arunidhi, Anita, Karthikeyan, Pradeep, and all the volunteers. They bring us this wonderful event, different very interesting speakers like Dr. Priya on a monthly basis. So thanks for doing this every month, the volunteer team. And with that, I request I express our gratitude towards our Guru's guidance and wrap up this note.
Thank you, Ayya. Be blessed by the divine. Varga Valamudan. We request Aditi, Samantha, Sadhana to sing Ulaganala Varthu. Be blessed by the divine.
Start. உலகமெல்லாம் பருவமழை ஒத்தபடி பெய்யட்டும், உழவரெல்லாம் தானியத்தை உவப்புடனே பெருக்கட்டும், பல தொழில்கள் புரிகின்ற பாட்டாளி உயரட்டும், பகுத்துணர்வில் தொகுத்துணர்வு பண்பாட்டை உயர்த்தட்டும், கலகங்கள் போட்டி பகை கடந்து ஆட்சி நடக்கட்டும், கல்லாமை கடன் வறுமை கலகங்கள் மறையட்டும், நலவாழ்வை அளிக்கும் மெய்ஞான ஒளி வீசட்டும், நம் கடமை அறவாழ்வில் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும், நம் கடமை அறவாழ்வில் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும், வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன், வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Thank you, Aditi. Welcome. Thank you, Aditi. Samyukta Sadhana, for your wonderful singing. Aditi, Samyukta Sadhana, be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. A special thanks to all servant leaders of USA for guiding us to coordinate this USA wide monthly satsang. Thank you all and see you all again in our next satsang. Be blessed by the divine.